Good morning, students. Today we'll take up chapter 4 from biology, that is human body digestive system. So, first let us understand what is digestive system.
In a human body, we have different organ system which has different role to perform. Can you name the organ system other than the digestive system? I hope you can, right? What are those? Those are circulatory system. What does circulatory system, what's its role? Its role is to transport. It's a transportation system of our body. That means it helps in transporting nutrients and gases like oxygen which are required by the cell to each and every part of our body. Similarly, we have excretory system. What does excretory system help you in? Excretory system help in removal of any unwanted waste which is harmful to our body from our body. Okay, then you have respiratory system. What is the role of a respiratory system? Respiratory system helps us in taking in the oxygen so that we can use it in breaking down of the food to produce energy. Okay. Similarly, we have digestive system in our body. So, what is its role? As the name suggests, digestive system, it's an organ system which helps in digestion of the food. Now, what do you mean by digestion? What is digestion? I hope you know the basic meaning of this particular term, that is digestion. Digestion means breaking down of complex food items into a simpler items which is absorbable by the cell, which is acceptable by the cell. So, breaking down the complex into a absorbable or diffusible form is known as digestion. For example, we take the food in the form of carbohydrates, fats, proteins and vitamins and minerals. Now, carbohydrates only in the form of glucose is acceptable by our cells. Okay, so whatever the, like example, when if you take carbohydrates in other form like maltose or lactose, it has to also be broken down into glucose in order to produce energy. Okay, then you have fats. Fats has to be broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. Only in this form it is acceptable by our body. Okay. Similarly, protein has to be broken down into amino acids. So, digestion, it's a process in which your complex form of the food is broken down into simpler form so that it is acceptable by our body. Okay. Now, coming to digestive system, for breaking down of this complex form of the food, our body requires a chemical substance called enzymes. Okay, enzymes are generally proteinaceous in nature. They help in breaking down of the complex food items. Okay, the name of the different enzymes which is present in our body are like maltase, okay, which helps in breaking down of the maltose. Then you have lipase for breaking down of the fats. Then you have pepsin for breaking down of the proteins. Okay, similarly we will be discussing about all this later on in this particular chapter. Okay, for now you just remember that for digestion of food you require enzymes. Okay, now coming to digestive system. Now your digestive system consists of alimentary canal and associated other digestive glands. Okay. Now, coming to alimentary canal, it starts from mouth and then ends in anus. Now, in between from mouth for you, then you have esophagus, then you have stomach, then you have small intestine, large intestine, and then you have your anus, okay, which is also a part of a large intestine. Okay, so starting from mouth and then finishes in anus. So the digestive glands, these are associated glands. These are not the main parts of digestive system, but they have certain role to perform in digestion of the food. Okay, so your digestive glands are salivary glands or gastric glands, or you have liver. Okay, these are all the associated glands which also have certain role in the digestion of the food. Okay, now let
you got an idea about what is digestive system and the other organ system that you have in your body, right? So as we have discussed that food is the essential fuel of our body. Without food consists of different nutrients, right, which is essential for providing our body with energy, for helping it to repair worn out tissues or building new tissues or cells, right? So the food, the process by which the food is converted into usable form, it is referred to as nutrition. Okay, what is nutrition? Nutrition is the process by which food is converted into usable form. Okay, the one which can be absorbed by the cells and can be utilized for carrying out different bodily functions. So your nutrition can be divided into following steps. Those are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Okay, nutrition, which consists of all these 5 steps, is referred to as holozoic nutrition. This kind of holozoic nutrition can be seen in unicellular like amoeba as well as in multicellular organism like us human beings. Okay, so let us understand what does the different terms mean. Okay, first, what is ingestion? Ingestion means taking in of the food. Okay, first the taking in of the food is known as ingestion. Then you have digestion. After the food is taken in, okay, then the food is broken down into the simpler form. Okay, simpler form, like if food you take in the form of carbohydrate is broken down into glucose, protein is broken down into amino acid, fats are broken down into fatty acid and glycerol, right? It is so that process of conversion of the complex substances into a simpler one is known as digestion. Okay, now next you have absorption. Absorption, the complete digestion of the food takes place in small intestine, and in small intestine you have a finger-like projection called villi, which is supplied with blood vessel. You have a lymphatic vessel too. Okay, so there the simpler form of the food is absorbed and then it is transported through the bloodstream, first to the liver, then to the other parts of the body. So that process of taking in the simplest form of the food, the one which has been converted, like the one which can be absorbed by the cells of our body. So absorption takes place in your small intestine. Then like I told you, after the absorption takes place, whatever the substance has been absorbed, it is utilized by the different cells of our body. That means it is converted into body material. So that is referred to as assimilation. Okay, conversion of the simpler form of the food which was absorbed or then poured into the bloodstream. Okay, that gets transported to different body parts and then utilized by the body parts for carrying out the different functions. That is referred to as assimilation. Then after the digestion has taken place, whatever the unwanted food items are there that has to get rid of from our body, that process is referred to as egestion, taking out. Ingestion means taking in, ingestion taking in, egestion means taking out of the unwanted, undigested food from our body is referred to as egestion. Okay, so that's all about the different steps of nutrition. Next I'll take up with the different parts of the alimentary canal. First we'll start with the buccal cavity, then we will be discussing the function of the mouth, then tongue, then teeth, different types of the teeth for today's class. Okay,
Let's go have a look at the overview of a alimentary canal. We'll start with the alimentary canal and then we'll discuss about, we'll go forward with the digestive glands. Okay, so let's have an overview of the human alimentary canal. Like I told you, an alimentary canal starts from mouth. Now your mouth also consists of tongue, teeth, which has a certain role to perform in digestion of the food, which will be taking into consideration in later. Then you have esophagus, also referred to as food pipe, and then you have stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and then anus. Okay, like I told you, you have an associated digestive glands. Those are your liver, pancreas, okay, and then you have gastric gland, you have salivary gland. All those are your associated digestive gland. I hope you can differentiate between I hope you understood what are the different parts of the alimentary canal. Okay, so in today's class, let's first learn about the different components that's present in mouth and then what are its functions. Okay, like I told you, we'll take up with the mouth. Now your mouth, it has lips. What is the function of the lips? We know the function, right? It helps in closing of the mouth. In absence of lips, mouth would not be closed and chewing of food would not be possible. Okay, it helps in sucking or sipping some food items. Okay, and it also helps in talking or speaking. Okay, so that's a function of a lips. Then you have tongue, muscular organ which is present in the mouth. What is the function of the tongue? It helps in mixing of the food with the saliva. Okay, it helps in mixing of the food with the saliva. It also helps in talking or speaking. Without the absence of in absence of tongue, talking would not be possible. Okay, and other than that, it also helps in cleaning of the food items which has been stuck to our teeth. Okay, now taking us other two teeth. Now what are the different parts? Taking after tongue comes the teeth. Okay, we have an arrangement of a teeth. The arrangement of a teeth is known as dentation, and we have about, the adult human have about 32 teeth. Okay, so we have about 32 teeth and we are heterodont. That means our teeth shape, or we do not have a same type of teeth or arrangement of teeth. Okay, we have a different types of teeth. Now taking that to the different types of teeth. Now what are the different types of teeth? You have incisor, then you have canine, then you have premolar, and then you have molar. Okay, now incisor are this front central portion of the teeth, central teeth. These are incisor. They help in cutting or biting food items. If I give you an apple, I don't think so you will be taking the apple this side and then biting it. You will be taking it on the center and then biting it, right? So it's a sharp, flat, broad teeth, centrally located, and its function is to cut a bite of food items. Okay, I'll give you the picture of a canine, incisor alongside. Okay, now next one is a canine. Canine are this adjacent teeth to that of a incisor. These are sharp pointed teeth. Okay, in case of carnivores, they have a well developed canine, because carnivores, they are flesh eater, so for tearing the meat. Okay, so purpose of your canine is to tear any food item, bite, tear food items. Okay, it's present adjacent to that of your incisor. Okay, then next one is your premolar. Premolar and molar, both of them are grinding teeth. That means it helps in grinding of the food items. Okay, the difference between premolar and molar is this premolar has only two fangs or extension. The root, the processes that's present in a root is only 2, number is 2, whereas in molar it's 3, and the premolar is bit broad as compared to that of a molar. All these are premolar and molar, both of them are your grinding teeth. Now, okay, so you can see the structure that's given alongside also, okay, for the reference. Okay, now next would be the structure of teeth, the internal structure of the teeth, internal as well as the external structure of the teeth. First, we have already discussed about the types of the teeth, right? If you go to the external structure of the teeth, the whitest color structure that you can be visible to all of us, that's referred to as crown. What is it referred to as? Crown. Okay. Now, portion of the teeth which is embedded into the socket or gum, okay, which enters the gum, is referred to as root. Okay, so the exposed portion is referred to as crown, and the one which is embedded into the gum is referred to as your root.